hit on something that's so impactful that I want to highlight is the fact that, like, you know, the person that sees value in you that you don't. And I think there's something real with that. And those pivotal moments where you're getting those rejections over and over, you feel like things are not working. Like, is this the breaking point? I'm sure there's a lot of like negative like feelings about yourself during those moments of just like, this place isn't for me. This was my identity for so long.
Yeah.
And now I might not even be in this city that I thought I had an identity in. And then that reshift of losing such a big part of you and thinking that's all you are is such I'm so impressed by you to be able to be open and dive in, and then you're able to, you know, do that in your most authentic and receive that. Because I totally agree. And I think that's a good lesson for everyone is like, are you surrounded by those people? Are you around people that see that value in you that you don't? I remember when I was working at BuzzFeed, and you know, I just felt stuck and trapped, and I wanted to be a filmmaker, and I went to film school, but the internet videos, they gave me a salary and all these other things. So I was like, obviously I'm going to do this. And I was at my lowest low, and another intern of mine was like, dude, I see so much in you. And I just did not see it.
And it was an intern. That's like the craziest part too.
Yeah. So like, he started before I did. I was like a fellow, still working my way up. He was an intern. He's like, dude, because he got a brand deal for some cell phone. I'm like, dude, if I could do it, you could do it. Come on. I'm like, and it was so cool to receive that. And I think if like you said, if people are listening, find those people that see that value in you that you don't. It's so pivotal for that progression in your life. So that's beautiful. So I'm sorry, were you in Boston? Are you in Boston and now, or are you going back and forth? Or what? So you ended up going to New York and then...
Yeah, I ended up going to Boston. And you want to know the funniest part about that shift was, it's like, I did so much up until that point to stay in LA. Like, I clawed my way, and I had so much fun. And yes, there were times where I screwed up, and there was a lot of like the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. But I mean, I look back and there were just so many experiences that I just have so many transferable skills from it, from like waiting tables to working parties to being a Patron girl to doing music videos, like to working for high level executives. Like it was just insane and awesome. And there's so much there. And what's so crazy about LA is it's such a bear. You know, it's like the best of the best from everywhere. Everybody is the big fish in their hometown. And you go to this like giant pond where everybody's awesome. Everybody's got money. Everybody's got this, everybody's that. Or like, I didn't have money, but I came to realize that like almost everybody around me came from some kind of crazy money. I was like, oh, I didn't realize that you weren't sleeping on a mattress on the floor as an assistant. Got it. You know, just like crazy stuff. Yeah. And what's so wild is I finally found like my stride in LA. Like, I loved it. I loved SoulCycle. I worked in Culver City. I'd like go to the West Side after, and I like beach and surf and Malibu. Like, I loved, and it was just so interesting when I finally felt secure, when I finally felt grounded, when I finally felt like I had a community and a place, and I finally felt like I quote unquote made it some way in LA. Not in the made it of like, oh, babe, fortune, but just like didn't feel like shit. Like, I feel so many of my girlfriends that have moved out there, like it's so hard to find friends and community and whatever. Yeah. When I finally had it, that's when the opportunity came to move. That was like, you know, like the ascension came. Yeah, wow. And then I did it all over again. And I think that I was just so laser focused on the dream of like working for Soul, being on this rocket ship, that I just took the chance of being like pushing my chips to the middle of the table and saying, I'm going to go all in, moving across the country and starting over.
The Self-Hype Podcast. Self-Hype Podcast.